Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
cool.
Do you mind, Ben? Do you mind?
Do I mind what?
Do you mind if I smoke a cigarette while we record? Real quick.
I'm a little afraid of third-hand smoking.
I'm sorry.
Which is when somebody who is not in the vicinity of you is smoking.
It's not. I disregard this. I'm alpha like that. Now that I start smoking, I don't care. I'll smoke near babies. I'll blow smoke into their faces. It was a courtesy thing to establish dominance more than anything, you know.
I don't think courtesy establishes dominance.
So I'll just smoke up real quick if you don't mind me to do. Oh, that's smooth, you know. But yeah, let's go.
What brand have you got?
I got Marlboro Reds, you know.
See, that's interesting. I don't think they sell that in this country.
They
imported.
You know, I got
very expensive.
I got my channels, you know.
How much those put you back?
Not a lot, because I got them illegally.
Right. Okay.
The black market means like a real man. You know,
okay. Did you start smoking because they were Marlboro Reds and you thought that sounded cool, or did you start with a different brand? Did you buy illegal, expensive, imported cigarettes with the intent to start smoking?
No. It started as like, I was like, oh, I should do a bit for the podcast, you know? And then I was like, I need to practice smoking before I do the bit. So, and now I just smoke now. I just got addicted. Because like you see all these actors and they seem like they're, you know, they just do smoke cigarettes and they then don't smoke in real life. So I thought I could just like, you know, do it for the bit, and now I just get cravings all the time, you know?
The biggest plus to smoking, from what I can see, is intermittent breaks. It's good to have a justification beyond just like going to the bathroom to be like, all right, time to take a 6-7 minute break.
Yeah, that's true.
Go downstairs, have a cigarette. Maybe wait outside an extra minute, who cares, and then go back in.
Especially the fact that I work from home, so it's not
But that's perfect. That's perfect. If anybody tries to message you while you're not working, you just message back a couple minutes later saying, sorry, I was having a cigarette.
Yeah, exactly.
I was taking a smoke break. I had a bike shelter built outside of my house for the express purpose of smoking there.
Yeah, exactly. It's all yellowed already.
Yeah. Didn't take long.
But it's like, you know, I was like, the thing about it
I also made sure to put no smoking signs in my room.
Yeah, exactly.
To give myself the feeling of being in the office.
Yeah, exactly, you know. And I hired an actor to come in and go like, oh, you want to have a smoke every once in a while, but then he doesn't stay for the actual smoke, you know. He doesn't stay with me. He just does like intermittently come in and tell, oh, you want to go for a smoke break, and then he leaves. I pay him, you know, whatever, 10 quid or something every day.
That sounds like a good gig.
Yeah,
is he like a professional actor?
Yeah. Trained thespian or whatever, you know.
Cool.
But yeah, I was thinking, you know, like,
has he done anything before that I'd know of?
No. I gave him a chance. He was like,
This is his big break.
He was an accountant before, yeah, and
he's a trained thespian actor accountant.
He had the money to do the courses, you know. From accounting, he was smart about it. That's why he was an accountant. He got the money to fund his, you know, acting career instead of like an idiot, you know, go to Hollywood, right, and be stuck doing gay pornography, you know. And in this way, he's like sheltered. He's sheltered from that, you know. That's what he told me, you know. He was like, I'm safe from that, and I could see his eyes, like as he was like eyes were shifting left and right, you know, and I could hear like a. You know, as he was
you could hear his eyeballs.
Yes.
They were moving so quickly, they were affecting airflow.
They were making But yeah,
Okay.
I was, I was reading the way I picked my cigarettes. I've been reading the slogans for different cigarette brands, and I and I've read the Marlboro one, which is like cigarettes for men who ride horses, and I thought that's me.
Yeah.
Because like I thought it was like I don't get to ride a horse honestly because of society, but I am a kind of man that would ride a horse if
You
if
have you feel you have the vibe of a horse
yes,
riding.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And I would be able to pull it off.
So Marlboro Reds are your horse,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's my proxy, basically. This what allows me to kind of fulfill that fantasy, smoking cigarettes. Yeah, but these are some good for like I've been looking at other ones, and some of them are some of them are pretty good. Like slogan of West cigarettes, say hi. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good one, right?
I feel like you should get into smoking like Chinese cigarettes.
Oh, learn all the yeah, sure.
I think that would give that's a cooler vibe at this point, I think, than like the cowboy,
Yeah, sure.
Go for the Chinese cigarettes.
Just what is the Chinese vibe of smoking cigarettes that if not cowboys? What aesthetic am I getting from that then?
Cyberpunk.
Oh, okay. But it's like, all right, yeah. It's like
the vibe, that bit in Everything Everywhere All at Once where he's going like, in another life I would have liked to be smoking cigarettes with you or whatever in the alleyway.
yeah,
That's the vibe.
That's true.
That's the vibe.
It's like Hong Kong. So
What's the most popular Chinese cigarette? Hold on.
okay.
Chinese.
So many cigarette brands when I'm looking at this list. Never heard of any of those. Some of them. Let's the Camel cigarettes. Let's have a look at those.
Chonghua.
Chonghua.
It's a
okay.
Chinese cigarettes brand produced by Shanghai Tobacco Group, a subsidiary of China Tobacco. Chonghua is marketed as a premium brand. The package design is a bright red color with the Tiananmen and Huaibao pillars in gold on the front.
That's pretty good.
It's one of the common names for China. So it would. It's sort of like literally just China cigarettes.
China cigarettes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
For example, the slogan. Wait, hold on. As a result, advertisements usually use the name as a pun, though this practice has been controversial. For example, the slogan "Love Our Chonghua" could also translate to as "Love Our China" and could therefore be used as an advertisement.
okay.
The cigarettes smell like plums.
That's pretty cool. That's a good smell for a cigarette.
And they are the preferred brand of cigarette for Mao Zedong.
Oh,
Wouldn't you want to
okay.
smoke Chairman Mao's cigarettes?
Absolutely, I would.
His favorite
honestly.
brand. See, this is way cooler than,
like-
I have the vibe of riding a horse.
That's
Fuck you.
true, because like a lot of people don't like. That's the thing when you smoke cigarettes in the West, let's say, in the filthy West, you don't get to kind of you don't get the camaraderie because people kind of drop smoking. A lot of them,
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you go to China, you still got that. You see Mao, you grab that. You want to smoke. He sees you got the his favorite brand. And he's like, go on then, let's go out for a smoke.
Exactly.
And then you're the first non-Chinese person in the Communist Party just sitting there with the medals.
It would work. It would work.
Yeah, go on then. Let's do this.
Would you rather be a guy who does like lighter tricks but doesn't smoke, or like a half-assed party magician?
Half-assed party magician, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vibe of a guy who does collects lighters and does lighter tricks but doesn't smoke is like worse than if you just smoked.
Well, if you I feel like just a pyromaniac at that point, right? You have to be a pyromaniac. You have to
No.
justify the in some way your existence for your collection. So you eventually.
Because that doesn't make any.
You'll be tucked in bed at night and you'll hear whispers from the lighters.
No,
and
not at all.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. If you're a pyromaniac, you're not collecting like novelty lighters.
Why not?
You're getting like fucking butane torches from a hardware store.
You're running a wife beater, and you've got a gallon of gas as an accelerant.
The guy who collects novelty lighters wants you to think he's a pyromaniac,
That'd
but
be
he's
cool.
not at all. He's
You're
not
the,
at all.
You're there like lighting like a high rise on fire with a lighter that's shaped of a gun. You know,
Like a deck of cards and a lighter.
you have a
That's not cool. That's even lamer than just being a pyromaniac.
the firefighters at the end. They're like, "What sort of lighter did he use for this?" You know, it's a nutcracker that you crack a nut and then the nut opens and there's a flame inside or something like that. Interesting. That's his MO. You know, we need to follow the clue.
That's a terrible lighter.
I
man,
know.
That's an awful idea.
I know that. But he needs to have all of them. You know, and he has to use them,
ridiculous.
all of them. A lighter in the shape of a pack of cigarettes that you take out.
That would be quite ironic.
And then you
and
light
then a cigarette
yeah.
packet in the shape of a lighter.
Yes, and then you open it up, you smoke a cigarette with your.
I think that would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny if you went out for a cigarette with somebody at a bar and you pull out your pack of cigarettes and hold it up to them as though they're going to take a cigarette, but they've already got one and they're like, huh? And then you pop.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you pull out your own lighter, open it up, it's got cigarettes inside.
Now that you have this like light-hearted angle for it, do you think you're gonna start smoking cigarettes too now?
No.
I didn't sell it to you. Maybe if I read out some of these quotes, these slogans, like "Let's go west" for West cigarettes.
Sucks.
Oh, I'll walk a mile for a Camel. For Camel
No,
cigarettes.
sucks.
Genuine
Terrible. They should have
taste.
stuck with Joe Camel.
Joe Camel.
Joe Camel would have sold me better than that.
What
slogan.
about Gold Leaf for the smoker who knows what he wants taste? Okay.
Nope. Terrible.
A
I'm
slogan
being
for
genuine, by the way. I'll let you know if there's one that I think is actually
Paul
good.
Mall. Whenever particular people congregate. Okay, that's a very
That's terrible.
For Salem cigarettes refreshes your taste. You'll love them. That's such a good.
These are awful.
No
wonder you don't hear slogans
These are really
anymore.
old ones. I could read the new because they're like ranked by like year. True Drum for drum
Give
cigarettes.
me some current ones.
Yeah, True Drum for drum cigarettes.
Terrible.
Winston for Straight Up. That's a
Our brand for our brand. Like, okay. Tesco for Tesco.
Trust
Like, okay.
Gold Leaf to taste good. Wow, what a fucking amazing.
And it says a lot about cigarettes that there's only one of them that's like, ours tastes good.
Slogan for Benson and Hedges. No spirit, no glory. Wow, okay, that's a bit.
Aren't
high
Spirit
and mighty.
cigarettes supposed to be like very cheap? They're like a really cheap brand in America.
It's apparently Benson and Hedges. I don't know, maybe they're called spirits or something when people name them colloquially. Open for more LMM cigarettes. Wow. Dunhill, the most distinguished tobacco house in the world. I love how they like slowly went from like what like trying to kind of display a certain image, right, of a cigarette smoker to like we're so old now, like to like the newer ones are like we've been here since 1934, like we're just so old. We have so much experience in giving you cancer with cancer sticks. Why don't you get our cancer sticks? We're not.
Why are you talking like that? You're trying to sell people on smoking now, right?
Yeah, true. I'm trying
this is
to
like
sell
your
to
new
all
hobby,
the,
but you're also going like it's killing me.
Yeah, because I'm trying to do. I'm like a hipster about it. I don't want many people to smoke cigarettes, though.
Give me one more slogan. Have a look and give me the one that you think is the
It's
best.
such a big list.
Just pick one. Just pick one.
Find your voice. I don't know. My Basic cigarettes. That's a pretty good one because the company's called Basic. Wow.
I think the art of slogan writing it must be dead.
Uh-huh.
I think they lost the recipe of making a good slogan, and they can't make good slogan. What's the last slogan you heard where you were like, "That's good. I want to buy this product. It sticks in my mind."
For like any product?
Yeah, not necessarily cigarettes. Evidently, there's no good cigarette ones.
It's not cool cigarette ones. I can't think of one, honestly.
Exactly.
We don't really do slogans anymore, do we?
That's what I'm saying. They must have just lost the recipe. They don't know how to do them anymore.
Yeah, all the old people that were all the like madmen, like got milk guys or whatever. They died, all of them.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Jingles are also going away. You know?
So it's like
Nobody has a jingle nowadays.
yeah. So it's
Terrible.
So it's all like it's gone. I'm trying to live back in time, by smoking cigarettes.
Welcome to Dead Ensigns, your number one market research podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to go into this week all of the ways that we think that where are the customers going? Where are they shopping? What are they buying? What kind of brands are they looking for?
Market analysis, yeah.
Yep, that's on the docket this week. I'm Ben. This is Max.
Yeah. I'm the cigarette expert, and you're the what?
I'm everything else.
Oh, okay, cool. And
Max is cigarettes. I'm everything else.
okay, cool.
Yep.
That's good.
Well, I had everything covered. I was like, you know what, the One Avenue, those cigarettes, I need a different guy for that. Mm-hmm. And then I got you on board for the podcast.
Yeah, just for this episode, yeah.
No, it forever, but your
'cause
area of
of
expertise
course,
is
true.
cigarettes.
Yeah. And I the thing is that I lied on my resume, so I had to get smoking. Like, I had to,
Fuck,
I need to start smoking now. Fuck,
Your cover letter was like, I really love cigarettes. The
Yeah.
feeling of the smoke in my mouth and lungs. And,
Yeah.
oh, when your fingers go kind of yellow because
Yeah.
of the holding them, and I love it. Your teeth get all like nice and waxy and
Mm-hmm.
stuff,
Yeah.
and it's so
Exactly.
good.
I left some
And
burn
I was
marks.
like, I gotta hire this guy.
I left some burn marks on my resume when I sent it in by letter, just to make it seem more, real.
Yeah,
But
put a little arrow pointing to
Yeah.
it and wrote "from a cigarette."
yeah, a little coffee stain, like on like a circle of a copper. But yeah, So I
But
lied.
before we get into the market analysis, where are the people going? What are they buying? How was your week, Max?
It's been fine. Just kind of
Alright.
chilling. I've been playing Stalker 2 and finishing
Stalker
up
2
some
is out now.
garbage that I'm working on in my spare time.
Okay.
It's not interesting to talk about. So took a bit of time. But yeah, Stalker 2 is alright.
Okay.
It's a weird game. They're very much kind of it's like a lot of the kind of opinions that people have about the game is that it's very Bethesda like, especially with like when you do conversations and you have the classic Bethesda zoom in on people's faces when you're locked in a conversation with them, but I'm in the second zone of the game, which is when it opens up, and the first kind of the rookie like area that you get to at the beginning of the game is very hands-holdy, and it does very much kind of feel like this feels strange. This
It's
doesn't
because
feel.
this is a real game for gamers.
That's true. They have
This is like a real game for people who've played a good bit of Armor too, maybe.
Yeah, I guess maybe, yeah.
So it's not. It needs to. If they understand they're getting some new babies in.
Yeah.
They need to all right.
Handhold them.
Here's how you do a real survival game with guns. Right.
It's not really.
Yes.
But
no,
yeah.
it's correct.
Yeah. So they teach you very handholdy, and it takes a really long time to actually get to the second part of the game when it opens up and it kind of becomes the the feeling, the kind of vibe of the stalker game kind of actually comes in that second part a lot stronger. So I'm enjoying the game a lot more, and even the story is kind of also picking up a lot more now in kind of deeper in the game. The beginning is very kind of generic and not interesting at all in terms of the story. But yeah, the game is still very buggy, which is cool, I guess. I guess they did have a lot of trouble during the development of the game, but
It's that's why they call them bugs. They're hard to get rid of.
true, you're right. Yes, but
You
yeah,
have a lot of bugs in your home. It's
I'm-
hard to get rid of them.
I'm interested in whether this game will be as moddable as the previous Stalker games. And I wonder if people are just going to fix this game, which is going to be cool. You know, you just
Well,
got to
hopefully
wait
the
for...
devs will fix it, right?
I guess, maybe. We'll see.
It's a big release. They got like Microsoft backing them or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think so. But at the same... They did sell, I think, over 1 million copies. So I think they made their money back already on sales. So it would be interesting to see how they're gonna continue kind of, because like that's the thing with when you buy like an early access game or whatever, right? You kind of buy it and it's like glitchy and whatever, you know, it's like buggy, and you like look at it and you're like, oh, you know, I'll come back to it in 6 months, and they'll be like, maybe they'll add more features, the game will become a little bit more stable, you know. It will, the game feel will become a little bit better, you know. But the issue of these sort of games like that, legitimately kind of, you know, AAA, right? At this point, they have big money behind them, and they have that if they kind of come out a little bit iffy at the beginning in terms of not just stability and bugs, but gameplay, then you can't really think of it in the same way, because they'll go like, oh, we'll fix the bugs, but the gameplay will not change, you know. They're not gonna introduce mechanics and kind of work out certain kinks within the game. They'll just kind of go, all right, we'll just make the game we'll fix the bugs, you know. But the actual design of the game is not
Was
gonna
the
change.
design of the game bad then? Because from the sounds of it, I thought you were just talking about the game's buggy and not the fundamental gameplay loop of the game is not good.
Like, there is a... It's hard to explain. I feel like my kind of nostalgia and kind of remembrance of the Stalker games from before were very heavily influenced by mods, because I've played the original Stalker games once, you know, at least without mods. And then whenever I would come back to them, I would download like the Misery mod or something like that. There would be like these huge mod packs that would rework the game to a huge extent, right?
This is
And-
why I'm anti-mod, because this is why everybody is always like, oh, I'm going to play Skyrim again. And then they
Yeah,
download 8
that's
million mods
true.
and they play it for like 20 minutes. I'm anti-mod. If the game on its own isn't engaging enough, I don't even want to think about installing a mod.
It is, that's the thing, it is engaging, but there's little things, little mechanics that I miss very heavily from, like, for example, one of the things that was I really enjoyed doing which was part of a mod that existed in the previous games, was hunting, where you could butcher animals basically after mutants and stuff and sell their parts. You can't, and I forgot that wasn't part of the main game, you know. I was like, oh shit, you know. And so basically every single time you encounter a mutant now, it's a bullet sponge. It just is it's a thing that just drains your resources basically. So, you know, 90% of the time you try to run away from it basically and just not engage it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not like a fun, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna sneak around it. It's more like, oh fuck, I have to fucking walk around this, you know. I have to walk around it, add like 5 minutes onto my route to walk around these cunts, you know. Like that's sort of the feeling you get, you know, rather than sort of like, oh, I'm surviving it. Because like the thing is like a lot of those mods that I'm talking about from the previous games, they would kind of increase that survival element in the game too. The only thing that mostly you have to kind of keep track of is food, and it's everywhere, it's everywhere. You'll always have food on you. Like, there isn't an issue with that,
Sounds like Pikmin 3.
Is that like something that they introduced like a mechanic, and then it's
Pikmin, you know how Pikmin 3 had a whole thing where it's like your guys get stranded on a planet and they're like, we got no food. We need to keep collecting food from this planet so we can survive. We only have like enough food for like 2 days.
Yeah.
But if you play it like even just normally, you basically never have to worry about it.
You never have to worry about
it. It's not like a real issue.
Yeah, so it's like, that's the thing. It's like, that's the sort of mechanic that it feels like, right? That maintenance of your character, right? Where it's like kind of like, I'm just gonna like, I just have fucking, like, I've looked at my chest, like, of my garbage chest where I just throw all my loot into, and I had over 100 bottles of vodka in there. Like, I had literally, so, you get that amount of stuff and you're like, fuck, you look at it and it's like, shit, like, this game is just kind of giving me stuff constantly, there isn't that fight, like, I think I've talked about at some point where like the previous Stalker games had that economical kind of survival to it too, although it was the zone, it was still, you were kind of fighting, you were surviving in an economy, right, that the zone has, which is, you go out hunting or whatever, you hunt animals, you then butcher them, sell them, buy some ammo, buy some food for the rest of it, so, and then you go out there again, and then you climb that a little bit higher, every single day, to you get a lucky break, maybe some fucking mutants murder some bandits and you can sell their garbage, so they're geared to, and you're like, fuck, this gave me a boost, and you feel good about it, for those little wins that you get, and in this game you're just kind of like, it doesn't have a lot of those elements, and also it is very interesting, it's pretty funny. One of the main kind of stays of Stalker was the A-Life system, which is basically roaming groups of enemies on the maps, but they were like, they weren't random, they actually moved from A to B, like but it's broken. That system is broken. So at this point, playing Stalker 2, you don't experience that system kind of how it should work. It's kind of like, it's the devs acknowledge that it's broken, and the way it works currently is that, like, sometimes you will get 5 squads suddenly congeal on you, spawn right next to you, and you have to fight like 5 different groups of different factions at once, Yeah. So it's like, it is Slav junk. Like, it is still Slav junk, like, although you have that Microsoft money, they had the time and stuff, I guess, money isn't everything, I guess, Maybe time, if they had more time, but I don't know how long they've been making the game for. Probably a long time at this point, and it still feels a little bit unpolished, And the thing is that a lot of the devs that worked on the original Stalkers, right, they moved on, made Metro, the Metro series, and it's a really good series, Like, it's like, if you want that Stalker feel, right, you played the originals, honestly, I would just tell you play the Metro series rather than this game, honestly, Only if I guess you played those already, you kind of want more of that, maybe you can play this, Stalker 2, but in regards, I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I don't think someone that's not into this series already would be as kind of forgiving for this game,
Sure.
Just unfortunate, I guess, in a way.
It's got a very big cult following, though.
Yeah, it does. Like, it inspired a lot of kind of
said,
aesthetic.
it's already sold like a million copies or something.
Yeah, and it's, it's because it was a big PC game, you know. It was a big PC game back in the day, especially in like Eastern Europe and stuff like that, you know. Like it was a legitimate like franchise, you know, like that people followed, you know. Like for example, like the Gothic series, right? The Gothic series, you guys, like I always joke about it that you guys never heard of it, but it's like one of the biggest franchises in like Central Eastern Europe, you know, ever, you know. Like people laughed at German-Polish relation. Like Gothic has done the most amount of work to improve them out of anything, you know, because it's such a like pinnacle kind of
It's like the Dragon Quest of Eastern Europe.
yeah, basically, you know, it's very interesting, you know, how like you've got these franchises that are very popular in particular places, you know, and the rest of the world is kind of oblivious to it, you know, but you know, in general, enjoying it, I guess. What about you, Ben? What have you been doing?
It's a good question. I've been reading a comic called Dorohedoro.
Dorohedoro?
Volume 5 or 6. That's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. And I'm also nearly done with the Owlcat CRPG Rogue Trader, the Warhammer thing.
The thing.
I think it's
Did you enjoy Baldur's Gate better or this better? Is there different things that you enjoyed in both?
I think it's hard to say that it's better than Baldur's Gate 3 because Baldur's Gate 3 has like the budget, obviously.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Whereas Owlcat games, I mean, you know, it's a big game. I'm at like 170 hours or something in the final chapter of the game.
Yeah.
For Rogue Trader, but it's like, you know, it's all like there's not as much voice acting. All of the stuff in Baldur's Gate 3 is like mo-capped and fully animated and everything and fully voiced.
Maybe they
So
can do.
it's hard to compare purely because like the budgets between the two are so.
Maybe they can do
so
a
disparate.
director cut of Road Trader, add all the voice acting, you know.
It would be a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
It would be too much voice acting.
But
it's not like Disco Elysium where it's like a 30-hour game.
Yeah.
And you can be like, oh, the game was pretty popular. We won Game of the
just
Year.
use AI. Just use AI. Why not?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's
Just
true.
use AI. But in terms of story, which one did you like more? Maybe that's.
I think I'm enjoying Rogue Trader a lot in that regard, narratively.
Okay.
It's very there's a lot more depth to it, I think. It's a lot less straightforward. There's a bit more intrigue, you know. Like
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 has that initial mystery of like these guys put a worm in my head. Why is the worm? What's the worm doing to me? Why am I not turning into a weird mind flayer guy?
Maybe you're JFK.
But like, I think Rogue Trader's story is a lot more interesting because you're taking up the mantle of like this big illustrious person, and you're finding out all this weird stuff that they were up to, and the Coronis Expanse has so much like little things happening in it, and you know, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I prefer it.
Okay.
I'm not a Warhammer guy. I don't know anything about Warhammer, but this game makes me sad that the face of this franchise is like
a Space Marine.
not even, but like little plastic
Oh, okay.
painted blue guys, you know? For my whole life, I'm looking at them like, I don't want to paint little guys. I don't care about this Warhammer stuff. And then I play this game and I'm like, oh, it's actually like cool. Oh, now I get it.
Well,
Even the Space Marines, I'm like, there's a Space Marine character you get in chapter 4, and I just did like the end of his story quest in chapter 5, and I was like, fuck, man. That's awesome. His name's Ulfar, and he's like a wolf Viking guy. A Fenris warrior or something. And his pack, he got lost. He got kidnapped by aliens and taken to a different dimension where you save him from. And he's like, I gotta find my brothers. and you go and track them down in chapter 5, and the ending is good. Is good. The writing's really, really strong. I like it.
Yeah. Do you think because of the world in World Trader, in terms of just Warhammer, right? It has so much more kind of lore that's more structured compared to D&D, for example, that it kind of allows for more depth in it. I don't know if I'm putting it right.
I don't know if that's
kind
the
of
case.
exploration of the structures that exist within this world rather than kind of fantasy, sort of thing.
I don't know if that's the case because, like, I think the D&D world, the Sword Coast or whatever it is, their world that they made.
Yeah.
I think they have a pretty good structure to it all. It's just not as interesting, I guess.
Okay.
I think you have to. I think it's weird because Baldur's Gate 3 is also very violent. They're both probably just as violent as bloody as each other.
Yeah.
I guess Rogue Trader feels a little bit more mature, I guess.
Okay.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 it was supposed to appeal to a lot of people. It's very accessible for people who don't play CRPGs.
Yeah.
Myself included. I haven't played like a lot of CRPGs, but I can recognize that Baldur's Gate 3 is like the most accessible CRPG out there by a mile.
Yeah.
And Rogue Trader is a lot less that, especially seeing as it's like it's got a lot more options available to you when it comes to like building your character and your party members and stuff. And the kind of choices you can make are very robust. You don't have as much freedom. I think that's the thing with Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, I don't think it's as good of a CRPG as Rogue Trader, but it's a better sandbox than Rogue Trader.
Okay, yeah.
Because, Baldur's Gate 3, they always talked about that whole thing of like, you can just like stack objects. You can take out boxes from your inventory and just stack them on other boxes and like climb them and circumvent whole areas by just walking over it, building a big thing to cross a gap and then just walking across it.
Mm-hmm.
You can carry like 1 million barrels of oil with you and then drop them around an NPC and then blow them up right as a fight starts. And kill like a super boss like immediately just because you did like 100 times D20 damage to it,
Yeah.
There's a lot less of that in Rogue Trader, but it's I think narratively more interesting.
Okay.
And I think the choices you make, I think the individual companion stories are very good. Yeah, no, I like it. It's gotten me more invested in this franchise.
Yeah.
I think I'll read some more stuff afterwards, maybe some
novels
books or something. We'll see. I'm curious, but I'm also going to play the Owlcat Pathfinder game when I'm done.
Oh, yeah, you said
Rogue
that you were
Trader.
not excited about building a character because there's too many options.
There's too much shit, man. There's too much shit in Pathfinder.
Too
There's
much freedom, you could say.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care. Past a certain point, when there's too many options, when it comes to RPGs, I don't care that much about them mechanically,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be at least somewhat engaged. Like, I'm not playing it on baby story mode to play the story, But at the same time, I don't want to. I'm not playing it for the gameplay of like making a awesome guy who's really strong in battles.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see a cool story and alter the flow of that narrative with my choices,
Yeah.
So when I look at the Pathfinder character creator and I'm like, oh boy, like 25 classes and each class has like 7 separate archetypes that alter them in distinct ways. Oh, brother.
Doesn't that game also have like a economic layer where you run a kingdom on top of that?
I don't know about that, probably, because Rogue Trader has the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting it to be that bad, because Rogue Trader's one is pretty straightforward. Rogue Trader in general is, like, at least, I think, on the normal difficulty that I'm playing it, very easy game overall. Like, I think if I could go back in time, I would probably set it to a slightly higher difficulty from the beginning, and I was like normal because I'm like, well, I haven't played a a game in this like system before, so I guess I'll just I'll keep it like a normal difficulty. But that game's like very easy. That game's really easy, especially if you just like build your characters. So like I just a lot of the times I can just end a combat in 2 turns because I have my character buff my melee guy Abelard, and then I give him an extra turn, and then he just runs around the entire map individually squishing each enemy in 1 hit.
Well, yeah.
And then I go, all right, move this next bit. Let's go. Let's keep it moving, people. So I don't know. Pathfinder might be the same way. I'll probably set it to a slightly higher difficulty just to, you know, to make it not
Aren't
feel
you
too
playing
easy.
it in co-op too?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. That doesn't matter.
I did start
But
a co-op
yeah.
game with a friend, but I haven't played it for a bit in that one. I think I want to finish the game myself in the end, and then because you got a lot of choices. I'm curious to see how the choices affect the story, because I'm playing it, I think, pretty straight, nice character in Rogue Trader, the more iconoclast thing. But there's a lot of heretical options, and there are like secret party members you can get based on being heretical. You know.
Yeah.
And following that route, following that evil route. So I'm curious what would happen in that in regards to going the evil way, you know.
But is it actually evil when you think about it? Because the Empire humans are evil in Warhammer. Is that evil to be a heretic in Warhammer universe?
The humans
ever
are
thought
evil,
that?
yeah.
You ever
but-
thought of that, huh?
Well, I'm playing. That's the thing. In my current thing, I'm playing nice because every time I'm nice, all of the other people are like, "What the fuck, really? You're gonna giving them food? Okay,
Yeah.
man. All right, whatever, freak."
Yeah, I don't
I'm like,
care.
yeah, okay. All right. So
The
yeah, you
you're
know,
like the most rebel thing I can do is be nice.
it is. It's like
And you
there
play
are
air
3
guitar.
Well, it's interesting. There are 3 moralities that you could be: dogmatic, iconoclast, or heretical. But the morality slider is 2 ways.
What? So like centrist, basically. One of them is just a centrist.
No,
guy?
no. The left side is dogmatism. The
Okay.
right side is heresy and iconoclast. So whether you go heretical or iconoclast, you're going against dogmatic.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. That's weird. Okay, all right.
It's interesting. I think it makes sense because the whole thing with humans in that world are supposed to be like faith and government are so horribly intertwined that it's like to break the law is heresy.
Yes,
you know?
yeah,
Even if the law
absolutely,
is
yeah.
just like something simple, like not murdering an alien immediately is heretical.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it makes sense that it would be a slider between dogmatism or being nice /
If you're
evil.
not with us, you're against us.
Yeah, exactly. But I either way,
Yeah.
I like it. Good game. I'd give it a thumbs up. There's a lot of reading involved, of course, because it's
Oh,
like
boo,
you know.
boo,
all of
reading.
voice acting.
Who needs
Well, that was.
that?
I think that's a
Boo.
big thing for me. Is it's now opened up more CRPGs to me, because before I was like, I don't know, I'd get distracted pretty easily. But I've gotten through this, and I've built up a good flow for playing through this game, and I think I'll play more CRPGs in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe the old Baldur's Gate games, the Pillars of Eternity games, maybe.
Morrowind and stuff. Not Morrowind.
I'm not playing
Neverwinter
Morrowind, bro.
Nights and stuff like that.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah,
Big thing I don't like about the old Baldur's Gate games is the real-time battles,
Yeah,
the old
they-
BioWare games where you're
Yes.
supposed to pause the game and then make decisions and then pause and do stuff and it's like a weird RTS sort of thing. I don't really like that. I prefer just a more turn-based thing. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and Divinity 2. I should play Divinity 2. I'll play some more stuff. Either way, that's me. I'm probably going to finish Rogue Trader this week.
no,
I think I'm coming up to the end of the game.
And then it opens up even more. You realize there's so much more of the game.
No, Chapter 4 is the one where you go through, at the end, you go through a portal, and it makes constant reminder to say, hey, this is the point of no return. You're going to go to a new area and never going to be able to
Never
come
go
back
back,
now.
yeah.
And then you go there, and at least as far as I've explored so far, it's like only a couple systems.
You go through the portal, and it's modern day Earth.
That would be interesting.
And you're like, you go to the store, and you go to a convenience store because you're like in the middle of nowhere, and you go to the teenager, and he's like, "I'm the rogue trader. You need to listen to me." And he's like, "Whatever, man. You know, how much do you want on your pump?" You know, something like that. And it's like,
This is this is exactly what happens in the Dark Tower series.
okay, yeah. Well,
You're explaining Dark Tower.
your buddy's pretty big. There, the Space Marine. Is he on Tren?
Is he on Tren?
Yeah, Tren is like steroids, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, I've never heard that before.
Are you guys cosplaying?
You would say that though, definitely.
Yeah.
But that was my week, Max. What did we do this week?
Oh my god.
Conjoined.
Yeah, we were.
What
looking for
horrible
some-
mistake did we make?
The horrible mistake we've made is to watch for some reason. What was the other idea we had to watch something else? And then you were like, "How about we watch some garbage instead?" What was
I don't know.
it? Whatever.
I should have it written down if I.
No, it's Cobra. Oh, we wanted to watch Cobra Kai together, and then you were like, "Let's watch The Crow, the remake from."
Well, we were gonna
this
watch
year.
Cobra Kai, but then there was extenuating circumstances that stopped us from doing that.
Yeah, I know.
So we decided to watch The Crow instead.
The Crow from 2024.
2024 remake. I had not seen the original The Crow.
Scars.
This was my first experience with
a long time
with
ago.
Crow.
Yeah.
Starring the Skarsgård, the weird one,
And
What's his name?
Sticks and what was she
and
called?
FKA Twigs.
Twigs. Sticks.
Sticks.
Oh, let me open up the IMDb page so I know. It's Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård. That's
Bill. But yeah, so what did you
This
think
movie
of The
sucked
Crow?
ass.
Oh, okay.
I think this is the movie that Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly love the most in the world.
Mhm.
This
Yes.
is the kind of movie I can see them watching, being like, "Oh my god, this is us."
Yeah, it is very interesting because, like, I've mentioned it while we were watching it. The kind of because the original movie did also have that aesthetic, I guess, of like, oh, would you throw yourself off the bridge if I jumped, that sort of thing, that sort of relationship the two characters had, and it's just shifted in time, like that.
It's
that
yeah,
thing moved
it's like
in time,
it
and
shows how much society has changed, because at the time that was alt culture.
Yes,
that was
yes.
alternative. That was cool because it's like, well, damn, this would freak out the normies.
yes, this is
Now,
like not normal. Not
this
normal.
is more aligned with normie culture than
Yes.
alternative culture.
Yeah, it did. This movie had a lot of scenes, like we said, there was a lot of scenes of like kind of TikTok aesthetic, as if you were supposed to kind of clip certain moments, and stuff, and certain phrases.
It's like it was
little-
made. It was made to have fan cams made of it.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately, nobody's making fan cams of this movie
Because nobody's seen
bad.
it,
Nobody watched it because it was really bad. Nobody cares about The Crow.
Yeah, and it's really just like the comparison for the original, where the love interest, right, of the Crow, she dies in like a pretty like horrible way, killed by a mobster in like this
So in the original, the villain isn't like a weird vampire.
He's like a mobster, basically. He's just like a gang guy.
Because in this movie, the villain is like a vampire.
Yes,
guy.
yeah,
He's like
yeah.
a weird demon
Yeah,
who forced the Crow's love interest to like murder a lady.
because like
With a his thing is he gets his mouth right up to people's ears and he goes and then they go yes sir, I'll kill.
We're sorry, but I'm sorry for everyone listening to this because Ben just hypnotized you basically by doing this because you were listeing to and doing it.
I will take it back.
I'll undo
you're
it.
Back.
You reverse it.
You're listening again. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
So so the original film is not a demon.
No. It's like no, it isn't. And the way they kind of try to kill the crow, because in this movie there isn't a moment where you're like, oh, the crow is dying, like he's going to die. Because in the original movie, they realize they can shoot the fucking crow that's following, and they start shooting crows that are around him, and he gets kind of like scared a little when there's tension in that kind of moment. When because you go like,
well,
oh shit, because it's like they say, like they even specify, like, crows were known to carry the fucking souls of the dead to the afterlife. So the reason why the crow is following is because it's like carrying his soul behind him, right? Sort of thing. And so in the movie it was like, oh, they shoot the crow, they'll kill him, right? And in this movie it's just like there is no tension. Like the tension in this movie at one point, which you're just kind of like not really obvious, supposed to come from the point that his love wavers.
The reason why he can keep coming back is because he loved his girlfriend really, really long.
Really,
so much that in the crossroads between Earth and the afterlife, the god figure is like, you can go back and kill those guys that killed your girlfriend if you want. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's up to you. And then because his love is so pure, but then he sees the video of her being brain manipulated, demon manipulated into killing somebody for some reason.
Yeah,
I guess he was just bored, the bad guy. I guess he was just like, man, this party is really boring. Hey, you go kill that girl. Yes, sir, right away, sir.
Yeah.
And then his love starts to waver. He dies and goes back again, and he's like, what the hell? Why am I going back? God is like, you actually don't love her enough because you saw the video of her killing somebody, and you're like, oh, she's actually a little weird, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, my soul for hers.
Yes.
You can have me. Just let her come back to life if I kill the big bad guy.
Yeah.
Which he then does. He becomes the super guy that is unkillable, and then the rest of the movie is just like, you may as well just stop the movie here.
Yeah.
Who cares? He's invincible. He cannot die. He's walking around. He just has to make his way to this guy and kill him, and then he does, and then it's the end of the movie.
Yeah, and the inciting incident that throws his life into like this life of horrid life is a horse die.
The whole prologue of when he's like a 9-year-old boy and he sees his horse wrapped up in barbed wire. And he's like, no, what happened to my horse? And then you get a shot of like a woman in a trailer who's like drugged out on heroin or something. And the implication is his mother is a heroin addict and inadvertently killed his horse due to negligence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what taught him like, oh, life doesn't matter. Life is nothing but misery and sadness and mourning.
And then we cut straight to him being like 30 or whatever in a juvenile like it's a weird prison because it's like it's not a
it's like a weird
it's a rehab.
It's like rehab
center.
Yeah, in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, in the middle of the woods, and they wear pink outfits, and they do like wellness exercises as if and it's so dumb.
But it's like militant. It's like militant wellness exercises.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so awful.
Yeah,
it's so on the nose of like society makes you wear pink and pretend to be happy. They force you into fitting in and being a nice, happy person. But sometimes people just aren't happy.
A god comes up to him and goes, "Be mindful."
It's so
Be
bad.
mindful, and it's like, And of course,
this
that's
is
where
he
they
meets
he
his
meets,
girlfriend.
and they fall
I'll
in
be
love
honest.
immediately.
I'm surprised that. Well, I'll be honest. I'm surprised that Joker 2 isn't the worst mental asylum, prison romance
Oh my
story
God.
this year.
Yeah, I
Joker
guess.
2, I was like, I guess Harley Quinn will fall in love with him because she's got like a weird parasocial relationship with the idea of the Joker.
She loves
sure,
the Joker,
whatever.
yeah.
In this one, it's like they just
They're-
kind of look at each other a bit, and then they're like, "Wow, you look like you hate life as well."
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And then-
Do you? Yeah, we should. Do you want to escape? Yeah. And
Then
they do.
she checks his. She goes into his fucking like his room, and he's got pictures of her like
Those
drawn
Yeah, he's
naked.
drawn nude pictures of her. He's not seen her.
He
nude
doesn't
at
know
any point.
her. Yeah, at this
He
point.
didn't really know her. He just saw her in passing. Was like, I'm going to
She's
draw her
like-
naked, and she sees it, and she's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Ha ha ha," you know. And then she's like, "Oh,
Oh,
you-
this is cool.
It's
I
like-
guess
why did he draw her with her?" It's not even like they have life drawing. He drew that
Yeah.
entirely from the brain. It's not
Yes.
like he was drawing a life drawing model and then put her head on it.
Yeah,
From
he-
off the
Fana.
dome, he's
He
like
drew
imagining
Fana,
her
yeah.
naked.
Yeah.
You know he's jacking off to it too. He's drawing that in order to crank off to it because there's
Of
no other
course.
reason why he would be drawing that in there.
Yeah.
It didn't make
In a
any sense.
prison.
He's a freak, dude.
Yeah.
He is
And-
a real weirdo.
Yeah, and it's like the thing is,
Unfortunately, they develop a codependent relationship basically
Unfortunately.
immediately.
and the thing about it is that like
It's not healthy.
we know more about her, I guess, than him in a way.
Yeah.
He's like, we only get the flashback, right, of him being a kid, and that's kind of it. But do we we literally do not know anything about him from the point of that horse dying to the point where the story begins. And it never, like, no one ever comes up, you know, no one ever like mentions there's like he has no past. He's just a complete blank slate the entire time, right?
She on the other hand, what we know about her is that prior to the film, she was at a party where she was forced to murder somebody by a demon, and they recorded it for some reason, and then they were gonna leak it to the press. I guess
Yeah,
they were gonna be
I
like,
guess,
"Look,
yeah.
here's a video of somebody killing somebody on behalf of this guy."
Yes.
I guess. And then she's on the run because they're trying to get her to stop her from putting that footage out.
Yeah. They're trying to bury the evidence, basically.
She gets arrested because cops find drugs on her. She goes to the rehab facility. They find out she's in the rehab facility. They turn up. She's like, "Please, Bill Skarsgård, you got to help me escape." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yep, sure thing." So they run off. They escape. They go back to Detroit. They could go anywhere in the world. I guess
Yes.
they're on the run. They go like the next city over, the city right next to the facility they were already in.
Yeah.
They have a montage. They spend like a week and a half together, going to parties, hanging out, doing some drugs, having sex. And then they eventually catch her. They kill her. They kill him
Yeah.
as well. But then he comes back. He's the Crow. Goes on a big murder spree. Eventually makes his way to the big bad guy. Takes him back to hell. And then she comes back to life. But now he's the Crow forever.
Yes. He's
So I guess it's a bit of an origin story. I think maybe they wanted to do like
Maybe,
set it up
that's-
as like a
that's
bit of a
true.
franchise, so they could do Crow 2, where he goes to stop some other demon. You know,
Yeah. Because, like, that's the thing. It was like, this is, like, way more supernatural. Like, it's explicitly supernatural when it comes to the people that he's fighting, you know?
it was. We came
Like-
up with some comparisons. It was very similar to Spawn.
Yes, exactly.
And what was the other
yeah.
thing? There was another thing that we were like, "This is just this."
Fuck.
Can't remember now.
It doesn't matter. But, you know, it is just like, who asked
It feels
for this?
like a superhero origin movie.
Who made this? What studio published this? Lionsgate, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, it was
They were, like-
made by the guy who did the Ghost in the Shell live action and Snow White
Yeah.
and the Huntsman and shit like that.
I guess he
a lot
just
of crap,
loves.
a lot of just terrible shit.
grabbing classics and just remaking
Making them
into
epic.
Epic, yeah, exactly. And yeah, and the thing is that it's just like I feel like this movie is like way less kind of iconic in a way. Like I was like when he gets the makeup, I was like, this is a way worse than makeup than the thing that the original Crow wore. You know, like I feel like it's like it has like the veneer of kind of Balenciaga, you know, like the modern kind of.
Because I haven't seen the original Crow, but this feels very commercial.
Yes, yeah,
If this is like, I feel like The Crow is like proto Hot Topic. It's probably the kind of thing
yes,
generated
absolutely.
the kind of cultural momentum to warrant a store like Hot Topic, something
Yeah.
that sells like alternative culture as a product. Whereas this feels like it's inspired by Hot Topic. It's The Crow, this alternative stuff filtered through commercial aspect to sell as a product, you know, and less
Yeah.
like something that feels like an alternative cultural thing, you know.
But it's like the thing is that like
So it feels like dog shit. It feels stupid.
But
Fuck
at the
this
s-
movie, bro.
At the same time, like you said, it is inspired by like alternative cultures, but at the same time, it's kind of in the mainstream. It's like doing
Not
the mainstream
alternative cultures,
oh,
but alternative to pop
yeah,
culture.
yeah, okay,
Alt
old culture, you know. And he looks like a model that works on like in Paris week, you know, like when they do like shows, you know, of clothes and stuff. And it's like who is this for, you know? Like
It was for. I'll be honest. I think there is a veneer of TikTok to it.
yeah.
I can't point to anything specific, but there's just like, even more so than any other social media, it just feels like, and not even in a derogatory way for TikTok. I don't think there's anything wrong with TikTok. A lot of people are like, TikTok is ruining society. I'm going to be, I think it's just an aspect of other stuff that's ruining society.
Yeah, well,
But it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with TikTok. But it's still in a derogatory way. I mean, that they were trying to make a TikTok movie
yeah.
with this film.
But it's
It
unfortunate
feels too
that
commercial to be interesting in any way.
it's unfortunate that, you know, trying to capture that audience, they didn't realize that that audience can't sit in a movie theater, not on their, you know, phones, you know, because they are on a platform.
Well,
that
that's
provides
losing,
them,
Max. That's losing. Nowadays, it's becoming more common to just be on your phone during a movie in the theater.
That's true, yeah. Like
it happens too much.
That'd be
It's
interesting.
kind of awful.
It's annoying, yeah. That'd be funny if they remove that warning soon, you know.
They just go, look, we know you're going to go on your phone. Just try not to be an asshole
Yeah, just
about
don't
it.
be an asshole about it. And you're
They
like,
stop saying turn off your phone. They say
that's what I mean,
lower
like, yeah.
your phone
yeah.
brightness.
Yeah, exactly. They sell little hoods you can put on your head so you can be on your phone, but also watch the movie at the same time.
It's
you know?
crazy, man. It fully just lost. People are just like, nah, fuck it. I'll just go on my phone in the movies. I don't care. People are taking pictures of the screen.
Yeah, because people like that's
People are just going like, oop, time to take a picture. Cheek.
no one gets in, it doesn't get enforced. Like nothing gets enforced. Nobody comes
Nobody
in and goes
fucking
like,
cares
"Hey,
anymore.
yo, turn that shit off," you know?
Nobody fucking gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, films are dying because David Lynch is like, watch the movie in the movie theater, but then you watch the movie in the movie theater and there's 3 people on their phones. You know? I don't think that's what he means when he's like, don't watch the movie on your fucking phone, you know? It's like, oh, you go to a movie for the cinema and then there's fucking people on their phones and shit, you know?
Yeah, it's do you know that Wicked movie is part 1?
No, I had no
I
idea.
had no idea until like last week that is a part 1 of a film.
It's got good reviews.
Yeah, it's got good reviews.
Wicked,
I have no interest in seeing it,
Me
but
neither.
people are saying it's pretty good.
97, 90 for critics and 97 for audiences. with
But
really a
that's,
lot of number, a high.
That'll be a part 2, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Kind
sold.
of crazy.
Good on them for making something that got people back in the cinema. You know.
Yeah. And it does go to show that Joker 2 being a musical wasn't the issue with why it didn't sell very well.
If it does
Because
only...
it is also a pre-established franchise that is very, very popular.
Yes.
It didn't sell because it looked like ass.
It looked like ass, and the musical bits were awful. They were shit. They were garbage. I can't think of a single song that he sung throughout the entire thing. And the entire point of musicals is that the songs are good and they should be memorable and they should be part of the story. And it just wasn't it. It just wasn't it.
Well, so this year our 2 worst films are probably Joker 2 and The Crow. Which one's worse?
Well, message us and tell us which ones are worse.
Yeah, let us know. What one do you think is worse? Have you seen Joker 2 and The Crow as well, like us? Our abominable, soulless lives?
Which relationship is bad? The Joker relationship or the Crow relationship? Let us know.
Yeah. I'll be honest, the Lady Gaga Joker relationship, I think, ended up being more realistic than this one.
True.
At least in that one, it's like they follow through on her parasocial nature.
Yeah.
And when he's like abandons the Joker, she abandons him as well.
True. Yeah.
In this movie, they're like
they're just together.
Is it just a horrible codependent relationship?
Mm-hmm.
They both reinforce each other's worst qualities and stay together because of it.
Yeah.
Well, let us know what you think. Is Joker 2 worse, or is Crow? Which one's getting the Golden Raspberry this year? I don't know. I could be either of them.
They'll get the Bill Skarsgård on the stage.
Let us know. deadensigns@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on YouTube where you can find our podcast and listen to it there. That'll let you subscribe and like. But if you don't listen to it on YouTube because those are for videos and you'd rather listen to it on a listening app like Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, and the rest, go there because we're more than likely there. And you can save the podcast and like it or rate it, do whatever you want. I've been Ben, this has been Max. Farewell.
Bye.
Goodbye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.